Have you ever heard of eco-friendly shoes? Hello viewers, welcome to another episode of the Founder Talk Show. Today we have the founder of Neiman's with us, Mr. Amar. Welcome to the show, Amar. Tell us the story of Neiman's. How did it all start and what is so special about the merino wool shoes?
Thank you, Arushi. Thank you for inviting me. Neiman's is India's first startup to create truly comfortable shoes made with natural and renewable fibers. It all started good 4 years back when I and my co-founder Taran were traveling on a family holiday to Spain. At the time of travel, we noticed that we were overpacked with shoes. We had a running shoe, we had a lounging shoe, we had a separate party shoe, we had a work shoe. So we had different pairs of shoes. So the idea then sprung about in Taran's mind that why do we need so many pairs of shoes? Why don't we have one shoe which takes us from the start of the day to the end of the day? So what we did is we decided that, so we thought let's take it as a hobby and go to the different parts of the world, different shoe manufacturing hubs across the world and just explore this territory. And that is when we noticed that the way the shoe is made is completely unnatural. A lot of synthetic material is being used, a lot of plastic is being used, a lot of animal skin is being used, and that is in turn harming the environment. That is when we thought about a natural material, which is merino wool. Now, merino wool comes out of merino sheep. Now, merino wool in itself has a lot of USPs. It is antibacterial, it is odor resistant, it can be worn without socks. It'll keep you warm in winters and cooler in summers. From the last 18 months of our launch, we have been going all out and we are one among the fastest growing footwear startup.
So Amar, footwear had been there for a long time. Why do you think industry was not using eco-friendly material and relying more on synthetic material? What was the reason?
So the reason being is because of the cost factor, and when you use synthetic plastic, they produce at a mass level, and so nobody has thought the need. Nobody has thought that there might be a market for it. So we started it and we produced a market, and now we are ready to go.
Does it mean to say your footwear has a large component of handmade? Is it handmade? And if yes, what is the percentage? And then if the cost is also a component, how expensive is your footwear over the regular footwear?
Our shoes are not handmade. We source the merino wool from the merino wool sheep from Australia. Then we source the fabric in South Korea. So assembly happens done by machine. So it's nothing is man-made here or handmade shoes. We don't say it as handmade or hand-stitched shoes. Now, when you talk about the cost factor, we are priced on a premium side. We are priced around 5,000 rupees.
Let's take a step back. When you say merino wool, are you the first company or startup using this material?
In India, we are the first company, and since our launch from the last 2.5 years, we are the only company who is operating in merino wool at the moment.
Coming to your customer base, what kind of customers typically you're targeting?
See, when we launched, our initial customer base was approximately in the region of 25 to 60. So mostly the corporate sector or people who are working or earning were initially going for us, and we initially launched with safer colors. Now that we have have a major launch just few months back, and where we launched another 8 to 10 colors. And now youngsters from the age of 15, 16, 17 are also going for our product or getting attracted for our product. The reason being is because they also have funky colors like red, pink, purple. All these colors are available. So for that reason, the price is not becoming a factor, because what people are saying is the comfort is there and we're different from the other companies. For that reason, people are getting attracted to our shoes.
And how much did you start off with? What was your startup capital when you started off? I'm assuming it was a bootstrap.
It ran into crores. It has been probably initially it was more of an emotional decision than it ran into crores, and we thought that we proved this idea to the market, and that is when we finally, after proving this idea to the leading investors in India, finally we got the funding just a few weeks back. So we got the funding in the month of February, mid of February, and official announcement also got done. So it was bootstrap, but we have put in a lot of our savings in this business.
How much did you raise?
We raised approximately $1 million.
What's the revenue you're doing now at this point in time?
At the moment, we are having a top line of 4 to 4.5 crores per annum.
And how much of that business comes from export?
We do not export anything. It's completely D2C. We sell it only to our customers, and we are primarily selling it on our website. In fact, we have not yet been active on the marketplaces like Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra. we will eventually do it in 2020, that is this year, that we will go aggressive on marketplaces also. So the entire customer database, the loyal customer database, has been built on our website, and it is complete B2C, not D2B, B2B.
So, coming to the current crisis situation, are you now thinking of maybe having alternate sources of supply or disrupting the existing supply chain?
What we have done is a good thing, since I told you that we are launching a major campaign. We're launching a major campaign. So we have initially planned for this campaign, and we have enough inventory in place to ensure that that is taken care of for the next few months, at least for the next 4 to 6 months. And post the lockdown, yes, we would eventually try to make it in different other countries apart from China, South Australia, and South Korea, though the effect is there. But at the moment, for the next 6 months, we have hands-on inventory. So I don't think so that immediate requirement would be there. But that as part of our development, we're getting into new development, new products. We'll definitely have India in the mix. We'll have other different other countries in the mix. So that ongoing process would definitely is already there, and we're already working on it.
Also, do you think with the general consumer sentiment towards China changing all over the world, would you think that would also be play a part in disrupting your supply chain?
You will find some disruptions, but at the moment we are not thinking about that. That shouldn't be a criteria at the moment, since we are already working on other manufacturing hubs also.
As an organization, have you thought of any initiatives to tackle COVID-19?
As an organization, we only work from home, and we are not taking any orders at the moment. We're not shipping at orders at the moment. So we're only taking orders, and we have explained all our customers. We have mentioned that on our website that will ship up after the lockdown is completed. We have come up with a new campaign wherein we've 25% of each purchase done on Neiman's website would go towards feeding the daily wages. This is a new campaign which we have taken forward, and we have tied up with several NGOs across India. We've tied up with Gunj, we have tied up with Feed My Hyderabad, we have tied up with Feed My Bangalore, Safa Foundation, and several other NGO organizations. We're working also with the government to supply our shoes, because our shoes, the major USP, it provides comfort. So our shoes, we're planning to send it to the medical staff, the doctors, the nurses, the entire medical team who's putting a lot of effort. Then the police personnel who are putting a lot of efforts during the day. So they need comfort. So we're working with the governments if there is any chance wherein we can give them our shoes. So we're working on both the campaigns. The first campaign has already been announced. It's already up and operational, and the customers also are coming forward in doing their part. So that is very good, because since I told you, our loyal customer base is supporting us, because we have already fed almost close to 3,000 to 4,000 daily wages in the last 1 week alone. So we're targeting another 10,000. We should do it. And this is a joint campaign with Neiman's and the entire customer base of Neiman's.
Are you using the lockdown period for building, things like design, or working with your India team in any way which you can build or enhance your business?
See, I can probably say that while the entire world is worried about COVID-19, a lot of companies are laying off employees, and we as a team have, Neiman's is in fact the first startup, or you can say the only startup, who is hiring at the moment. And second is our existing team. We're ensuring that in this free time, they learn a lot of new technologies, they're participating in a lot of webinars, they're understanding what we were not doing in the past.
How big is the market, do you think, in India for your shoes, and globally?
The entire market, footwear market, is approximately close to 7 to 8 billion. And approximately 10 to 15% of it is a premium market, where the shoe is priced over 4,000 rupees, 3,500 to 4,000 rupees. And a lot of other brands are now focusing, which is now slowly picking up, because the customers now want quality and they're looking at enhanced comfort. So the market is slowly picking up. The statistics, what I've just shared with you, is almost close to 3 years old, 2.5 to 3 years old. But the statistics keep changing, because people now understand the need of comfort in the footwear. They understand the need of supporting new brands. They understand what is good. So the market will always exist in case you reach the correct customer.
But do you think there is the environment, both in terms of infrastructure and policy-wise, is it anywhere close to your comfort? You can think of in 5-6 years' time for manufacturing.
Of course, the government is always supportive. In fact, our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi ji, has already been supporting Made in India. And yes, in the future, definitely a lot of industries would open, a lot of manufacturing units would open where young entrepreneurs like us would get an opportunity, and the policies would be set to set up small manufacturing units where they say that rather than importing this product, make this in India. Unfortunately, at the moment, the merino sheep cannot survive in India in case we want to do it also, because I think it requires extreme altitudes, with extreme temperatures to survive in Indian conditions, extreme cold conditions. We have to source the merino wool from Australia or New Zealand or Europe, anywhere. But we can assemble the product in India.
Amar, any message that you would want to give out to other entrepreneurs, and any learning lesson that you would want to pass on to others?
So when it comes to startup life is not easy. That is one. Second is be focused, be motivated. You will have a lot of hurdles. And finally, once you launch your product, be patient with the market to respond. If you're positive, it will take you forward. And with regard to COVID-19, it's a pandemic. The entire world is facing this situation. Just relax and take your time off. Focus on what you have not done. Learn new technologies, learn new things, and working on new ideas. And when the lockdown is lifted, you will come out much more stronger.
And we won't leave you without giving out a message to My Startup TV.
I think My Startup TV is a wonderful platform. In fact, when Arushi contacted me, I was a little apprehensive that I've not seen this, I've not heard about them. So when I checked up their website and checked up the fellow entrepreneurs interviews, I said that yes, this is the platform which surely will fascinate, will encourage fellow entrepreneurs. We need a platform where fellow entrepreneurs can hear what exactly the challenges the startups who have become big have taken in the early days. Nobody tells us the exact stories. The real stories, I think I've heard from Startup TV interviews. So I thought that this can be a very good platform. You guys have launched not long back, but you have gotten some very good founders. And I would request more and more entrepreneurs follow your channel and get to learn new things. Even all of us are learning. In fact, some of the interviews, I don't remember the names of the founders. It has been inspirational for me also to hear their stories. So it's an inspirational platform, and fellow entrepreneurs will learn a lot from your channel.